The Chronicles of Narnia, the children's fantasy series comprised of 7 books by C.S. Lewis, has received multiple on-screen adaptations in the history of the franchise, most notably being Disney's 2005 film The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, that eventually culminated in a trilogy. Now, Netflix is developing its own adaptation of the source material, with The Magician's Nephew, and one rumored casting choice is considered by many to be sacrilegious. Let's talk about Greta Gerwig possibly casting Meryl Streep for the role of Aslan, the Great Lion, in Netflix's streaming adaptation of the Chronicles of Narnia here on That Park Place.
One thing I do want to bring up is the story we're going to cover first was not released on April 1st. We are not releasing this on April 1st. This was covered on March 31st. So keep this in mind. But there's a rumor going around that Greta Gerwig is maybe, just maybe, planning to replace Aslan in the Chronicles of Narnia with a female Aslan played by one of the most awarded actresses in film history, Miss Meryl Streep. This is a bad idea. If anyone disagrees with me, you may not be on the panel anymore, but please feel free to chime in if you feel brave, if you disagree, or chime in if you do agree that this is a horrible idea. What in the world is wrong with Hollywood? Please help me understand how they are this dumb.
Well, they don't understand that these are religious based books. This is Christianity at its core, and the wonderful pieces of literature that C.S. Lewis put together are just amazingly steeped in not only the faith but also in just good moral lessons. This would not be a good moral lesson, nor would it be consistent with the telling of the tale. So this will be a huge loss if they push forward, because I do believe, Jonas, that I will not stop talking about how corrupt this film is if this turns out to be true. That will be one of the things that will drive my audience crazy, because I will be so angry about. There's that.
I cannot imagine a dumber thing for them to do in this, honestly. To take a character that, let's just, for those of you who are not aware, the Chronicles of Narnia is a series of books by C.S. Lewis, which are, they can pretty much only be read as an allegory for the Christian faith. And yes. Aslan, in the first book, spoiler alert for a book that's very old, Aslan is an allegory for Jesus, and a lot of the things that Aslan says are directly taken from the teachings of Jesus. And if you haven't seen Chronicles of Narnia, well, he gives up his own life in sacrifice for Edmund. Also, he is a male lion. Male lions look very different than female lions. So I see very few options here if they were going to do this any other way. Either they have a male lion voiced by Meryl Streep, not a great idea, or they have a female lion that has no mane, which means that some of the imagery there, including the witch Jadis cutting off the mane of Aslan, that obviously can't happen. I think they're actually adapting not The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but I think they're adapting The Magician's Nephew, which it's been a while since I've read that one. But this is one of the dumbest things that I have ever heard out of Hollywood. But at the same time, it's believable. I don't know. Do you guys believe this rumor?
Oh, it's certainly believable. And I actually disagree with culture just a little bit, because I think they recognize that this is religious allegory, which is why they're doing it. You see, that's the kind of insidious nature of all this. Greta Gerwig is definitely somebody who wants to, who has in the past, I think, maybe upended the status quo, perhaps. And it looks like this is consistent with that philosophy. So I entirely believe this is believable.
To me, this is one of those things, and I think Greta Gerwig is one of those classic people who said that they went to church at one time, therefore they're fully entitled to comment on all aspects of religion. You know, it's one of the most insufferable takes out there. Forgive me if that's a little too spicy for a show like Morning Magic, but I have zero faith in this project at this point. You know, there is a certain amount to be said for the fact that Greta Gerwig, while she is woke, she does have the ability to to market to large audiences. There's a debate about whether or not Barbie is woke. It is woke in my opinion, but it's also watchable. It's not the worst movie that was ever made. So I did have some faith on some level that they wouldn't screw this up, but here we are. This is something that when a rumor elevates outside of our circles of the people who, if they announce the leader is going to be in Avengers Doomsday, nobody that I talk to in the real world knows who that is or has any context for that. I was already getting text messages from people saying, the normies saying, are you hearing this rumor about Meryl Streep possibly playing Aslan? First of all, that is really quick. I mean, it happened really quick. And second of all, you've hacked off the normies when they are reaching out to say this is wrong. Hey, Marvin, do you have anything you would like to contribute to this one?
Just that it's absolutely ridiculous. This is the kind of thing that was actually stated, when it was announced that she was the one doing this and that it was going to be Netflix. Everybody was like, what, are they going to make Aslan a woman? And, well, here we are. I mean, they know there is nothing sacred to these people. They have taken C.S. Lewis's great work. They have taken a character that is supposed to be a religious symbol and gender swapped it. I'm sure you guys have focused a bit on that. It's ridiculous. It's terrible. It's going to kill any and all hype that this had. And for the record, Barbie was woke, but Barbie was at least made for a female audience that actually wanted to consume the product, unlike Star Wars and Marvel, which are made for a female audience that has no interest.
Right. If you had the reverse with Kathleen Kennedy on Barbie, you would have a Barbie movie where Barbie is meant to appeal to men, which would not be what Barbie is. And you would get things that were violations of the character. The less said about that in a PG setting, probably the better.
Now, see, if you were selling me that Meryl Streep was the witch, I'd be perfect casting.
Yeah. She's a great actress. I think she would own the screen. I still think Tilda Swinton is probably like to me that is.
Oh, as far as the aesthetic, yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I think
I don't know anything about
Meryl Streep would be too
politics.
old. Meryl Streep would be too old to play the White Witch. The White Witch is supposed to be beautiful.
Agreed. Too old to begin the training. Too old. Is there anything else that we need to say about this rumor and hope that it is just something that I hope this is a trial balloon that they're sending out to see how people react to it. And I also hope that the people who are receiving the information about how everyone is reacting to this, they don't take it as, no, we need to do that because it's edgy.
I'm sure that's exactly what's happening is they're seeing the reaction and they're like, well, people are going to be talking about it. People talked about Snow White too.
Good press is bad press is good press and all of that kind of stuff. Doesn't really hold water nowadays. But I just want to go ahead and provide a little bit of context here for the box office numbers associated with the Narnia franchise. It actually was pretty successful. I mean, $720 million back in 2005. It's well over $1 billion now if you factor in inflation. So this was very, very popular. Hopefully they don't screw it up. Go ahead, Culture. Sorry.
No. I interrupted you, and I would say that the films that Disney did, I believe those were Disney, right, back then.
Correct.
I mean, this is a long history of good performance and good adaptation back to the Kraft animated versions of these films. So I'm gonna say that if this is updated for a modern audience, it's gonna get blasted by us and most people, because I would dare say one of the few things most people I know have read have been the C.S. Lewis books, at least one, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. But probably not many have read, The Magician's Nephew or The Silver Chair or,
right. Because reading The Magician's Nephew first is wrong. I just have to point that out for anybody who goes by the chronological order as opposed to release order on the Chronicles of Narnia series.
So one last thing I'll say about this is that one of my favorite for people that are like, it's a lion, it's not a religious symbol. One of my favorite C.S. Lewis stories and quotes is a mother went to go see him and said that she was concerned because her son liked Aslan more than he loved Jesus. And C.S. Lewis was like, well, that's impossible because they are one and like basically they're one and the same. Like Aslan, everything Aslan does is what Jesus does in the Bible, and therefore to love one is to love the other, and essentially so miss me with that. Oh, you're just reading into it. You know, you guys just want to like make everything Christian. No, like it actually was like a story that I think was meant to kind of get kids interested in the scripture. So
yeah, I would agree. There's to read the Chronicles of Narnia as anything other than a Christian allegory. They can be enjoyed without the Christian allegory. They can. It's possible, but they're definitely Christian allegories. So this is definitely something that Greta Gerwig is aware of. It's not like, well, some people read it as that. No, it's the express purpose of these. Well, we probably, before we get into the deep theology here on Morning Magic, which is not something that we talk about, or the deep magic, as they would reference in Narnia, go and Shogi for $5. This would taint Meryl Streep's career, too. She can always say no. If she doesn't, she'll have to own it. I think that would be a very interesting thing for Meryl Streep because she does all kinds of roles, but she doesn't go for the big-time commercial stuff.
She has no moral. Meryl Streep has no moral center. She gave a standing ovation at the Oscars to Roman Polanski. But also Papa Isidu had the option to not be Snape either because of what it would do, and apparently he's not taking that. So
yikes! Is that signed yet? Please tell me that's not signed yet.
It's heavily rumored that this is official. Pretty much all the trades have run with it.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.